Any second now.
We're good.
Yes, we are good.
All right. Welcome back, everybody. This is final session of the 2024 CISSP Mentor Program. We're going to be doing quizzes again, making fools of ourselves. Again, most important thing to remember as we go through this is listen to the thought process and how we go through and think about it. Even if the question isn't good, we ran into some last week that we were like, I really don't like how that question is worded, or they're not going to have something like that. They likely won't have something like that on the exam. That's not what is the important part. The important part out of this is how we're taking this exam, how we're thinking about it. Uh, we got Ron here with us again, and Brian is going to help out. So thank you, both of you. And I think we've got a couple others that might be joining later. So you guys ready?
Let's rock and roll. Hope
All
everyone's
right.
having a
So
great day.
in the order, I'm going to go in order of the cameras on my screen. So it's going to go Ron, myself, and then Brian.
Cool.
And if you have a question for those who are watching with us live, if you have a question or comment, make it in the YouTube chat or follow along there somewhere where I also have the Discord question chat up. So throw it in.
All right, Ron.
And I have to remember to watch my Zoom, not the YouTube, or else I totally throw myself off. Which of the following activities would not take place while computer incident handling is ongoing? What shouldn't we do? System imaging, so making a copy of whatever we're working on, risk management process, understanding risk, system development, or a help desk function. So we know system imaging is a part of it. Help desk would also be a part of it. So we know first and fourth is gone. Incident handling should include risks, part of the triage. So I would also strike that. You shouldn't be doing any system development. That should be outside of the processes. What do my fellow hosts think?
I think you're right.
Yep, I agree.
Hey, good job.
Woohoo! I'm done. We've fallen ahead.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
oh my God. I never thought of this so long. In the open systems interconnect OSI reference model, what level are
No.
TCP and UDP identified? So Ron's helping me out there. So
And I don't mean
transport,
number four, but
presentation,
anyway.
network, or application. Well, wouldn't be at the application level. That's at the top. You've got to have that before then. Wouldn't be at presentation because that's not what they are. So it's either transport or network. And I am trying to remember.
Please do not throw sausage pizza
Yep.
away.
So please do not throw. Yeah, transport. There you go. Thank you. I had to think about like. So remember your acronym or your oh, what are those called? Not acronyms, but
Acrostic or whatever. Yeah.
memorization devices. Please do not throw.
Mnemonics.
Yeah.
Yes.
So transport.
Woo.
So you can still even though you haven't looked at this or thought of this in probably 2 years, you got to remember those things. All right, Brian.
All right, give me one sec here. Typing in Discord. All right. Prolonged high voltage is a blackout, a spike, a fault, or a surge. I'm gonna go ahead and throw out blackout immediately on that one. It could be a spike. Let's see. Sorry, thinking about what might be a spike. A fault? I don't think it's fault, because I don't think a fault is prolonged, or it could be a surge. Once again, I don't think a surge is prolonged. So, although spike could be the same thing. So, I'm gonna go spike or surge. I think surge on this one is my go-to. Spike just sounds like, because when I think of a spike, it's like real quick,
Yeah,
up and down, where surge might be prolonged. So that would be my final answer.
I agree. To me, I like how you thought through that, but to me, I saw high
Mhm.
and blackout and fault are low. There's a
Oh,
lack
are
of.
they? Oh,
Mm,
that makes sense,
good
huh?
point.
Yeah, good point.
So that was what keyed me, and then I think you nailed it with the prolonged being that reason. All right,
Right, we're
Ron.
3 for 3 so far. Let's see if I can mess this up. The control measures that are
Yeah.
intended to reveal the violations of security policy using software and hardware are associated with. Ooh, someone was posting this in the Discord chat. Control measures reveal the violations of security policy. So they reveal violations. Is it detective and physical? Well, hardware could be physical, I guess. Preventive and physical, detective and technical. I don't think technical. So what are the different measures? Detective, physical, administrative. Well, aren't they detective, preventive, administrative? Oh, so I would say 4, mainly because I'm thinking more detective and administrative, and we're looking at security policy. So we're detecting violations of administrative controls. So that's what
Yeah.
I think.
I think I would agree. No.
No.
So it's yeah, detective technical is what's going for, right? Yeah.
Technical means.
Technical.
Hmm.
So can we go back up to the question? So control measures that are intended to
I
reveal
would have thought
violations.
technical. Well,
So the security policy is what's getting me using
Yes.
software.
I know because the policy would be. It's definitely detective.
Hmm.
That makes sense, but I guess they're saying because of the software and hardware. I was reading the policy and thinking like it doesn't really. All right.
Don't argue with the test.
Yeah, you'll never
So
win. All right. Which of the following is not a factor related to the CIA triad of information security? Well, you better know this one. Confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Oh, I mean, oh my God, I clicked. I mean, I didn't mean to click that one. I didn't to say it's not this, and I clicked it. Oh my
oh.
gosh. I knew that one. I meant to not click that.
I know you were going for it. It's like you're going each
I'm
one.
like,
It's like
and then I
That was the
accidentally
nice thing with
clicked.
the pencil. You know, it's hard to, if you're penciling something in, you can erase it. It's hard to do it when
Yeah,
you
you gotta be
do.
careful. I was trying to be a little bit of a smart. Don't be smart when you're taking the test. I can't believe I clicked that.
yeah,
The po-
I've warned many times to people because I have a tendency of like when I'm reading an answer and say I want to answer D on a question, but it like say like I want to answer A, but D starts with A, I will go to D because it starts with A, even though I'm thinking I want to choose A. So just
Yes.
once again, when you're taking the test, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you read those questions and make sure you pick the right one that you intend to pick.
Oh, well, I'm done with this. Brian, you can take over and share. I'm retiring
Oh,
after that.
I get the read one. Cool. Which of the following stripes the data and the parity information at the block level across all drives in the set? So we're looking at RAID here. So RAID level 2, RAID level 0. I'm going to discount 0 right away because there is no redundancy in RAID 0. Um, RAID level 5 or RAID level 1. So we want to stripes the data and the parity information at the block level across all drives. I'm going to go with RAID 5 on this one because it is the one that I've used most, and I believe that is the correct one.
This is
Ding,
one,
ding,
just
ding.
memorize it,
Yeah,
know the differences.
yeah,
All
memorize the
right,
difference
Ron.
between the types of period.
And then once you do, you don't forget. It's like, where did I remember? A server cluster looks like a single server from the user's point of view, dual server from the user's point of view, quartal server from the user. What's a quartal? Anyway, triple server from the user's point of view. So this has got to be a single server from the user's point of view. It's usually like high availability servers. You just know you're using one,
Hang on a second. I was
unless I'm
no. I want to go back.
no go backs. It's
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it's
I
not
was
the
not,
correct
like,
one.
I was
not.
like, wait, yeah, okay, sorry. I was like, wait,
Next,
I'm
next.
questioning myself. I'm losing my mind.
That's assuming you already had it.
Yeah. Okay,
Anyway,
sorry.
where was I? Oh, yes, we're going with single server. And I'm staying with my answer. That's my final answer.
Which one was it? I'm sorry.
The top one.
Okay. I am I am shaken by getting that, like misclicking on that. It
For the
really does.
record, everyone thought it was hilarious in the YouTube chat.
Oh
Fine,
my
showing you're
gosh.
human, so don't worry about it.
Like, I know it's availability.
And we were
Okay.
just talking about this. So if anyone doesn't like what we do, you're welcome to join us teach next time. So we're always looking for new instructors. And if you think this is
Uh,
easy,
man.
anyway,
Yeah, no pressure at all. All right. Which of the following backup methods is primarily run when time and tape space permits and is used for the system archive or baseline tape set? Incremental. Mm, No, that's not an archive or a baseline. A tape backup method, well, that's how you're backing it up. That's not a backup method. That's the anyway. Full backup, well, that sounds pretty good. Differential, that's not a baseline or an archive. I'm gonna go with full. Hey, all right.
you got it. Whew, you
I
redeemed
had my
yourself.
finger off the mouse button when I was hovering over them. All right, Brian.
All right. First up, I want to say congrats to Gabe over there in chat for passing. So congrats to you,
Yes.
man.
Congrats, Gabe.
Nice.
All right. What is a disaster recovery plan or DRP for a company's computer system's primary purpose? The disaster recovery plan generally a subset of a business continuity plan focused on IT generally. The probability that a disaster will occur that provides procedures for relocating information systems operations to alternate location, strategic long-range planning, or availability of compatible equipment at a site. So we're looking for the primary purpose of a DRP. Provides procedures for relocating information systems operations to an alternate location is going to be my answer here. It's definitely not the top one. It's not strategic and long-range planning either. So I'm going to go with
Yeah, that's a
second one.
interesting worded question.
Mhm.
I'm not. I think this is the best answer,
Mhm.
but I don't think
Yeah.
it's a good answer.
Yeah,
And
I
again,
agree with you on that one. The wording on it.
you'll find that with the test as well. That's why I say don't argue with the test. Just whatever is the best, most applicable answer. So which of the following would be best defined as the likelihood of a threat agent taking advantage of a vulnerability? So look through the answers, then go back. So defined as a likelihood of a threat agent taking advantage of a vulnerability. Is it a risk, an exposure, a countermeasure, or a residual risk? So let's know what it is not. Countermeasure is a control. So it's not the likelihood of a threat agent. So we know it's not C. Residual risk is the risk you have left over. So you know it's not that. Exposure would be similar to your protect surface using a zero trust term, but that really doesn't fit this. So this is a poor definition of risk. What did I say before about don't argue with the definition? So
Again, it's best defined. What is the best answer? So,
yes.
all right. Which of the following is related to physical security and is not considered a technical control? Intrusion detection systems. Okay. Access control mechanisms. That's kind of maybe, but not necessarily. Locks. All right. That's definitely physical. And firewalls. Well, that's technical. I'm in, and you could make an argument for intrusion detection being physical or technical, depending on it. But I'm going to go with locks because you can physically touch them.
That's where I would go to.
Yep.
All
Flying
right.
through. Who's up? Brian, is
Brian.
you or me?
That's me. If symptoms of an attack are slow network performance, ability of some hosts to get to websites while others cannot, high network and CPU use, and overall system slowness, what attack would likely be underway?
The
So
CISO attack. Anyway,
a
sorry.
malfunctioning DNS server, missing operating system components, lack of free disk space, or denial of service attack. I'm going to go ahead and kick out lack of free disk space. I'm going to kick out missing operating system components as well. Malfunctioning DNS, maybe, but denial of service attack is the one that comes up just because it fits everything there. And it's just all sort of everything all over the place. It does all kinds of weird things. That would be my answers. Denial of service.
Yeah, I think to me the other thing is it says attack twice, and this is the only one with attack that is an attack.
Point.
Good point.
Sometimes the
I
answer is
agree
there.
agree
So
with your
just
logic.
if you want to stay on that for a second, news
Yep.
story of the day is archive.org with the Wayback Machine going through a denial of service attack. So if you are trying to use the Wayback Machine and it's not working, one of these could be one of the symptoms.
That's an odd
So
thing to attack.
they have some potential copyright issues because they just make copies of websites and it's
I
made
can
some
see
people
that.
mad over time. So yeah. And if you haven't gone to archive.org, check it out. It's kind of when it's back. Okay, long question. What are the 5 key principles? Make me count to 5. What are the 5 key principles that form the core of the control objectives for information related technology COBIT framework? This is where I need to go back to my COBIT ISACA training. Pick the answer below that presents them in the proper order. Ooh, so this is direct memorization. I probably remember the control objectives, but do I know them all in the right order? So separating governance from management, meeting stakeholders' needs, apply a single integrated framework, covering enterprise end-to-end, enabling, I don't like that one, meeting stakeholders' needs. I think these are all probably the same, just in different order would be my guess.
Yeah, it looks like it.
So this will have to be just a random guess because it's been a long time since I memorized.
Yeah, I want to see what you say. I have one that I think makes sense to me.
So I'm going to phone a friend. Brad.
Well, so 1 and 2 don't make sense to me for that order. 3 and 4, I'm kind of going, if we look at those both sort of make sense, but I'm thinking 3 makes the most sense, but it could be 4. Because
so Chad is agreeing on B, but they're all over the place.
Let's see. Nope. Darn.
Meeting stakeholders' needs, covering. So
Enterprise.
in doubt.
Chat wins this one.
It would be right.
Chat wins.
Hey.
Go chat.
That's what happens when you.
And you won't see questions like that normally because they try to stay away from strict memorization like that. It's how would you apply these?
Yeah. All right. Here's a great one. I am not reading that paragraph until I read the question. Proprietary business information unique to your company has been found in competitors' new products. They are in violation of which property law? Well, I don't have to read the paragraph. I just saved myself all that time because it's not relevant. So now we need to know what property law it is. Well, now I'm looking civil law, probably not patent. Oh, now I need to go and read it and see if they mention a patent. So reading through that, manager, corporate intellectual property. Okay, so I'm not seeing patent or trademark, so I'm going to go with trade secret.
There you go.
So this is a great example of, okay, I don't need to read that paragraph. Oh, wait, I better make sure that they don't mention patent or trademarked in there. They don't. Now I know my answer.
Because for those, you need to file. Those are official filing.
Yep. Good point.
All right. What is the primary purpose of risk management? Improved compliance, fewer audit findings, to reduce the number of security incidents and reduce their impact on operations, and zero security incidents. So I'm gonna go with what would be C on this one, because it's the longest answer. Not really.
Exactly.
No, that's really what it is. Risk management. It does check boxes for compliance. That's not what it is. Fewer audit findings. No, and zero security incidents. That's an impossibility for the most
Right.
part. So
I do recommend knowing the difference between events versus incidents while we're looking at the
Mhm.
answers, because you could have a lot of security events that are not incidents.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
every incident starts as an event.
Yes. Good point.
All right. Hey, we passed.
woo.
Woo! We're done.
All right, let's
Just
do
trying to keep
another
my pen.
quiz. Will I get this set up? I'm going to do test mode this time, so we don't know if we get it right or not.
Ooh. And we've been doing pro mode? That's
Yeah.
Yeah.
pro. Oh, wow.
While I'm getting this, any questions in the chat that we want to talk about?
Not seeing any. Everyone on YouTube is just putting their answers in. So, regarding the previous question regarding the legal, do you know the difference between civil and criminal?
Mm-hmm.
So that civil could have been an answer because it's one organization against another organization not breaking a law, which then would make it criminal. So very basic law stuff you should know. And a friend of mine who's a CISO for a local bank spends, he said, at least 50% of his time with the lawyers. So for those who want to be a CISO someday, just warning you now. All right, should I dive into this question?
Yep.
According to the USA classes of fire, which of the following is a Class C fire? Ooh, this is another, you'll have to either memorize or teach this section.
I,
So,
I've got a way to remember this.
how do you remember it?
All right. Class A is ash, ends in ash. Something's burning, wood, paper. Class B is boil. Um, class C is shoot. I know it's gases, but I can't remember what the thing is now.
Oh,
And then uh class D
C
is
is current.
current, thank you. And then class D
Thanks
would
to
be
Lambert in chat. Anyway,
is oh great. I'm having a really bad day.
no, these are
Uh
her.
K is or the was it
K's Kitchen.
K is kitchen, and then everything else is D.
Yep.
That's what it was.
So it would be electrical. And thanks to those in chat to
All right,
help
thank
us
you.
remember what it was.
I was so confident going into that, and then went flatlined. Okay. Which of the following was developed to address some of the weaknesses in Kerberos and uses public key cryptography for the distribution of secret keys and provides additional access control support? Ooh, well, I don't recognize Kryptonite.
Either.
Radius is really old. Sesame is really old. I'm gonna go with Tax
Okay.
Plus.
TAC X.
Oh, I
We
was
won't
like,
find out.
did I get it right? I forgot what.
All right. Keeping data available, controlling access to information systems and associated networks is necessary for the preservation of their
Hey, I know this one.
Oh,
confidentiality, authenticity, availability. No, confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Hey, authenticity, confidentiality, integrity, and no. SOB on this one.
Notice I
It's
didn't mess around and put the wrong one. That one.
which of the following best describes the secure electronic transaction or set protocol? Ooh, I need to phone a friend and get Evan here. Set protocol. Who was it originated by? So originated was it? Well, I'm pretty certain it was originated by Visa because they did a lot with payment card in industry. And most likely it would also be MasterCard. The only thing is looking at the second part now. Does it use SSL? Does it use message authentication code? Is it using transport layer or using digital signatures? Secure electronic transaction protocol. I'm remembering it had to do with message authentication code, something also known as MAC, but
it's definitely not transport layer because there's nothing
no,
that doesn't indicate
that's
security at
not a
all.
protocol. Digital signatures really isn't a protocol
No.
either.
Yeah, I'm
So,
with you.
all right, we'll find out.
Oh, memorize it.
Yes.
Which of the following protocols does not operate at the network layer, layer 3? OSPF, RIP, IACMP, TCP.
Just remember this from the previous question.
I'm gonna
What layer does TCP use?
What is? Oh gosh, I can't even remember what OS.
Open shortest path first.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Forget the other.
TCP
So
was
all the others were on layer 3.
yeah.
Who of the following is responsible for ensuring that proper controls are in
Ryan's
place
here.
to address integrity, confidentiality, and availability of an IT systems and the data they are entrusted with? Which, welcome, Ryan. So we've
Hey,
got
everybody.
IT. We've got IT security practitioners, system and information owners, chief information security officer, and business and functional managers. So sorry, I got distracted. What we're looking again, following is responsible for ensuring controls are in place to address integrity, confidentiality, and availability on IT systems. So we've got the security practitioners, system owner, and information owners. So I'm gonna kick them off right now. The chief information officer, he's part of that. I don't know if that'd be the best answer here. Business and functional manager is also not the best answer here. So IT security practitioners and chief information security officer. I'm going to go with IT and security practitioners.
Well, and it just says chief information officer, not information security.
Yeah.
True. So that would be my my.
The answer is everybody, but that wasn't an option.
Yeah.
E, all of the above.
Excellent.
All right.
I'll
Ryan,
get this one in case.
yeah.
Ryan, are you ready to answer or no?
Do my best. I'm mobile at an airport, but I couldn't miss this, so I'll take a shot at this one.
All right.
All right. You are a criminal hacker and have infiltrated a corporate network via a compromised host and a misconfigured firewall. You find many targets inside the network, but all appear to be hardened except for one. Must be the directory server. It has several notable vulnerabilities, vulnerable services, and therefore seems out of place with an otherwise secure network, except for the misconfigured firewall, of course. What am I likely seeing? A honeypot, an IDS, an intrusion detection system, a Cisco switch, file server. I am going to say, I'm going to go with a honeypot on this.
Yep.
All right. Ron.
An electrical device alternating current or direct current, which can generate coercive magnetic force for the purpose of reducing magnetic flux density to 0 on storage media or other magnetic media is called. Do we have any electricians in the house? And actually, I know this one. Mainly, it's a degausser. The rest are just to throw you off. It's basically how a degausser works, is using a electrical magnetic force to clear.
They're fun to use.
Yes. Yeah. Everyone needs at least a few to run around their house with.
Just keep your cell phone away from it. Personal stories there.
All right. In what way can violation clipping levels assist in violation tracking and analysis? Oh my goodness. Clipping levels enable the security administrator to customize the audit trail to record only actions for users with access to user accounts with privileged status. Clipping levels set a baseline for acceptable normal user errors, and violations exceeding that threshold will be recorded for analysis of why the violation, why the violations occurred. Clipping levels enable a security administrator to customize the audit trail to record only those violations which are deemed to be security relevant. Clipping levels enable a security administrator to view all reductions in security levels which have been made to user accounts which have incurred violations. All right. I'm going to guess on this because I don't remember this. Yeah, I was going to say
Yeah,
the baseline and violations.
that's where I would have gone
And
to.
Brian, while you read this, I just realized I didn't bring my water in with me. So while you answer this next question, I'm going to get my water.
Ooh. Of course, it's a short one. What sort of attack would it be if wireless network attacker flooded the network with deauthentication frames? An ARP attack, a DDoS attack, a DOS attack, or forced frequency hopping? So I don't think it would be ARP. I don't think it would be distributed. This doesn't say that here. It could be denial of service because they're flooding the network. I don't think it's forced frequency hopping, so I would have to go with the denial of service attack on this one.
Yeah.
And why that's denial versus distributed, it's on a single wireless network. So you could, Ryan could have a distributed denial at an airport wireless, but even there now they have a lot of redundancy built in. So we'll see.
Hey. You don't know what I'm doing here.
That's true. You might have your...
All right. Ryan, you want to get this one?
All right. Which answer best describes the condition that results from a DDoS or distributed DDoS attack on the target system? Racing heart conditions, buffer overflow, resource exhaustion, memory leaks. So here, most likely, the best answer will be a resource exhaustion, resulting in the other subsequent things happen.
All right, Ron.
Let's see. As your company grows and gains, well, let me read the question first, learning from Brad. A non-electronic method of preventing disclosure of corporate data contained on discarded media includes... Ooh, I may not even need to read all of this. Although, well, degausser we learned is an electronic method. Bucket of water. Yes, definitely put things in buckets of water to destroy it. BitTorrent wiper is an electronic. So without reading it, but always then go back if you have time, company grows, data become more valuable, you must decide more tightly controlled. As an IT manager, for a successful growing company, you're responsible for security corporate data. So you're developing policies, control the data at all locations that it resides. So preventing disclosure of corporate data contained on discarded would be physical.
Well, in here, I'll just add that it didn't specify the media type. So if you encounter questions like this that are specific in their type of media, that can a lot of times be an indicator that it's a whole object, or in this case, a physical thing is what they're looking for.
Yeah.
And someone put in chat, rust could destroy over time if it's in water, but that would just take too long.
All right. Which of the following Wi-Fi standards would offer the most security? Put them in the proper order. Oh, boy. All right. So enterprise.
I haven't had any like this.
Personal. WPA enterprise. Open
access point.
Yeah. I'm going to say, I think this is the order. WPA2 enterprise, WPA2 personal, WPA enterprise, WPA personal web, and open AP.
I think
that feels good.
Yeah. All right. Which acronym is a lifecycle enterprise architecture framework used for designing, planning, implementing, and governing an enterprise technology architecture from the bottom up? COBIT, TCP/IP, TPRM, TOGAF, TOGAF. TCP/IP is not it. TPRM, I'm assuming third-party risk management, maybe?
Yep.
Like, I don't, that's TOGAF. Not sure on that one. I remember the acronym. I don't remember what it is. I'm not going to lie. But I'm going to go with COBIT on this one.
I think that is it.
Feeling good on that.
All right, Ryan, are you able to answer? Or should we skip you this time?
I'm happy to go. There
All
are
right.
3 components in the risk management process. Which answer correctly reflects all 3? Asset identification, risk mitigation, and risk acceptance. Asset identification, risk analysis, and risk treatment. Asset valuation, risk analysis, and risk mitigation. Asset identification, risk analysis, and risk mitigation. So the 3 components in risk management process, well, we have to know what we have, but more importantly, we have to know what it's worth. I am going to go with asset identification, risk analysis, and risk treatment. So knowing what I have, figuring out how at risk it is, and then applying one of the subsequent treatments.
I was thinking, yeah, I'm thinking mitigation, but
Well, so I'm going up a level, right? I'm saying risk treatment covers mitigation, right? I could be wrong.
To see what. All right.
That's
Let's see what happens.
And survey says.
Uh-oh.
Wow.
Ouch. Gosh.
All right, let's review these.
We're so close to that 70. Damn.
How do we see the answers?
Oh, there we go.
There.
Oh, it was
Oh,
Sesame.
it was Sesame. Yeah.
Sesame.
Wow.
Okay. That's
All
just
right.
memory.
Yeah, that is not having looked at this stuff for years and not using it.
Right.
Huh? Digital
Oh, it was
signatures. All
And
right.
again, that was just memorization.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ooh.
Oh,
System information owners. So
interesting.
I think the key is responsible.
So there's
Yep, that's how I read this.
Yeah.
Because technically the system and information owner has the ultimate responsibility, accountability, regardless of who they outsource that work to.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I'm hanging my head in shame on that one.
I don't like that. Man. All right.
Click the detail button.
What?
Oh, we probably had them reversed order.
Yeah.
Oh,
that would have been helpful.
Hey, that's why you got to read the
secure
question.
at the top. Yes.
Got to read the question.
We had it right. We just didn't read it right. And I'm disappointed with chat. No one was yelling at us for not reading the answer.
Come on, people. You let us down.
Set us up. You know this.
Oh, TOGAF.
Okay.
Yeah, can we hit I want to know it. Okay.
Open group architecture framework.
Yep. See, that was my
memorization.
Yep.
Yeah.
My lack of knowledge on that one.
That's why you do it. Why you practice.
Yes.
And have you guys talked at all about, sorry for my tardiness, have we talked at all about some of the study techniques and doing these practice exams? If you guys are cool, I'll just take a quick second.
So,
I'll share with everybody kind of my method for passing. So I studied quite extensively, as much as I could. And then when I felt like I was getting close to having the knowledge, I began practicing a lot with flashcards. I then started to take my practice exams, but I would space them out. So I would only do maybe 2 or 3 in a row, and then I'd go do something else for like 15, 20 minutes. And if during that time I also happened to whip out the flashcard app, more often than not, I would encounter a flashcard relevant to one of the questions I might have struggled with. So by taking it in very small bites, but doing that frequently, I found really great success. Otherwise, the other technique that I tried that I backed away from was to just sit there, okay, 4 hours, I'm just going to take as many tests as I can. And the truth is, by the end of those 4 hours, my brain was just liquid and I didn't remember anything. So for whatever it's worth, what did you guys do? What kind of maybe your suggestions and methods?
So I'll go next.
Yeah.
I read Sean Harris's book, and for me, writing things down is key. If I write it down, I remember it, or I have a better chance of remembering it. So I had probably 5 or 6 legal pads of notes that I took, reading that, and then reading couple other books, and then life happened, and like 3 years went by, and I went, oh, I need to get back onto this. And because I went back and reviewed my notes, I then went in and found CCSecure, and I just started taking tests. And I started with, 25 questions across, and then whatever. And finally I'm pretty sure I over prepared because I took, I was taking a full 250 questions every single day for like 3 months leading up to my test. And this was back 9 years ago at this point. And so I didn't have the community to know. And where I was at, there was only one other, I think, person that had a CISSP. And yeah, so I didn't know or know how. It didn't have that support that we have now in this community to know when I was ready. So I was like ready to go, and it worked out. I finished the 250 in 3.5 hours, passed on my first try. So
Here you go. Yeah, when I took it way back when with the old pencil and you had 250 questions and you had 6 hours. First of all, study tips. A lot of what has been said here. I use CCCURE back in the day. Just keep taking practice, particularly if there are areas or domains where you are weak.
yeah.
Don't spend the time on the things you find fun. Spend the time on where you may be challenged. Do understand how to read through. So one thing we don't see here is a lot of the questions today are scenario based, and they'll give a scenario and then have 3 or 4 questions based on it. Read through about the new CAT, the computer adaptive testing, which will really look to see how well you know the topic. Before you take the test, get a good night's sleep. Go into it rested. Um, I'm not quite sure what all you can bring with you, but I'm pretty sure you can have a bottle of water with you. They allow you to have simple things.
I
I
think they
would
give that
take,
to you now.
they even give you water, even better.
Well, because I
Um,
think somebody used the backside of the label to cheat.
oh, geez. Don't do that. So there's this thing called ethics. We will find you, we will catch you, we will call you out. So just don't. And it's not fun. I have numerous examples. Let's see. What else? Every so often, force yourself to take a break while you're taking the test. I even in your seat, just you know, step and close your eyes for a minute, just sit back and do your whatever Zen type of meditation or whatever you want to do, just to give your mind a chance to refresh. And just do it for a couple minutes, because after a while your eyes get blurry. So take your time through it. You really do have plenty of time. They keep a timer on there just to kind of make you feel the pressure. But in reality, if you've been studying, time should be fine. So, and check out my video for more test taking tips.
Yeah. How about you,
One
Brian?
last thing I'll throw
Oh,
in. One last thing I'll throw in that just popped in my head. Because of my neuro spiciness, I do word association. So the way I remember the Export and Embargo Act is actually a visual of Richard Nixon being escorted to the plane at the White House, because the year it was passed, he was president. And that actually came up as a test question. It wasn't the year, it was who was the president. But anyways, if that works for you, sometimes those associations, completely separate of the question, can help you to remember the question.
So there is a question in chat. Someone asked difference between CISSP and some other certifications like CISM. CISM is more focused on GRC, governance, risk, compliance, and management. I mean, that's the idea, Certified Information Security Manager. While CISSP is about being a broad professional, really at any level, although it really is more for managers, but a little bit more technical questions. I don't have the difference between the domains in front of me, but generally that's it.
I will say I took my CISSP, and then 6 weeks later took my CISM, and that was on pencil and paper, and that was stressful. But the biggest difference for me, just from my perspective, was the terminology differences and learning what those were. But because I'd studied so much, there is a decent amount of overlap, and we have to have the experience to be able to do that. So, all right, Brad, how about you? Study tips.
So my study tips, I am um, I used a lot of YouTube. So the big ones, Inside Cloud and Security, Destination Certification are two that I used a ton. On top of that, I am a tactile person, so anything I can write down. So I quite literally bought 300 flashcards on Amazon. And then as I was going through studying using CSecure, I would go through and it'll actually give you, and I don't know, Brad, if you can pull it up, it'll actually give you graphs and information of domains that you're not doing well in overall. And then I used those to identify where I needed to study more. And then I would make flashcards based off of things that I wasn't getting correct on as I was doing practice exams. Um, and then also a big thing is don't overdo studying. Take a break because I did get to the point where I got burnt out, and it was about a week before I was scheduled to take the exam. Which another good point is set a date for your exam because you probably will never feel ready to do it. But if you set the date for it, you there you go. That's your end goal right there. That's where you need to be ready for. But like I was saying, but it was about a week before I was scheduled to take the exam. I was starting to burn out, and my wife like looked at me one time after I was sitting there in front of a book with a blank stare on my face for a half hour. She was like, "You need to stop. Like you need to go do something else," because I was going pretty hardcore at that point. But take a break, even if it's for a couple days. If you're just sitting there staring at a book and you're not retaining any information, it's not worth it at that point in time.
Yeah. So great. So I think what I'm going to do is we haven't done any of these hotspot types. So I think maybe what it'll be good is to do just a short one on some of these other types that we haven't seen yet. And we'll do it in study mode and just see what happens.
Let's try it. What's the worst that could happen?
Oh, they can't.
No questions.
That's the worst that could happen.
They can't come and take away the CISSP if I get them wrong, can they? I don't want that.
I'm telling IAC2.
Just dang it.
No, but they will come take it if you don't practice good ethics.
That is true.
All right, here's one. This is a drag and drop. They got to choose the ports.
Oh.
So you get a drop down. FTP wants to yell it out. I don't want to be the only one answering.
FTP is 22.
21 for FTP.
Oh, it was close.
SSH.
22.
Yep.
All right. TFTP.
Oh, what is that? 20. I want to say. I think it is 23. I don't know. Is anybody using it?
It has to be. That's the only.
It's got to be. It's got to be.
Telnet.
I think the only one that's going to be left there is going to be 69, isn't it?
Yeah, 60 because HTTP is 80.
Yep.
What is our other option though for Telnet?
I think
they're all the same. All the answers. It's just in different orders.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, can't you? What is the default for that?
TFTP is 69, and Telnet
is 23.
Is 23? Yeah. Okay.
There we go.
Oh, those days of using putty are coming back to me.
I know, right?
Yeah.
That was easy.
Woo!
Didn't ask the right question, which is what port to close.
All of those. Anyway.
Let's see.
Do they have any scenario-based questions?
So while we're looking at that, I just want to use that question as an example for the ladies and gentlemen that are out there. Is memorization is key in a lot of these questions. You need to know these items and what they are. And sometimes, like me, you aren't going to use those on a normal basis and they're going to pass out of your memory, but you still need to know them for the exam.
Yes. Yep. All right. So, Ron, I'll give you question 1 on this.
All right. As your organization, well, let me read the question, but then go back. Got to remember that one. One of the key steps of establishing an information classification program is to train users how to handle classified data files and labeling information properly. Which of the following best describes why it is critical to train your user community on data classification? So this is all about one of my favorite topics that very few do well is data classification. So best describes why it is critical to train your users because they're the ones who are going to be dealing with it. Because it helps to develop auditing procedures? No. To ensure that information classifications are periodically reviewed? No. Possibly, but to identify information owners or their delegates, if you create the classified, you're the owner of it generally. The other ones, most often, handling critical information and best ensure its proper use. Yes, it'll be D. Have any of you ever been in an environment where you've actually, it's part of Office 365, you're required to label? I was working with a government agency and I had one of their laptops and any document, spreadsheet, PowerPoint, or email had to be labeled. It was a little bit of a pain, but great way to ensure labeling was happening.
Yeah.
I'll just real quick add to that. If you're in the public sector, K-12 or higher ed institutions, you're subject to Freedom of Information Act requests quite often. Information regarding your security program is defined as non-public data. So even though it's a public institution, there is no legal precedent that you must disclose the specifics of your security program. So that should always be classified as non-public data.
Very good. Yes. Have
All
a
right.
classification.
This type of authentication is the oldest form of authentication factor and is not suitable for environments requiring the highest level or a high level of security for the authentication process. So again, I don't need to know. I don't really need to read that paragraph. I'm going to kind of just skim it real quick. All right. What is the oldest form? Something you have, somewhere you are, somewhere you know,
Type 4.
something you have. I'm going to go with something you know.
Yes.
All right, Brian.
All right, I'm going to skip to the question here and we'll see where it gets us. Malware that quietly resides on a user's computer that takes no action until directed to do so by a master controller can be best described as affected computers, DOS, DDoS zombies, Trojan horse, or logic bomb. The one I thought we were going to get here is not here. But it's malware quietly residing on systems. I'm just going to skim this real quick here. Developing training for user latest malware on systems effective. Want to help understandable games. Yeah, I'm thinking logic bombs as well.
Yeah.
But no real keys in the actual scenario sort of information itself. So logic bombs is my answer.
I agree.
Another thing just to remember, so we've been lazy. If you can go previous, or we can't go previous.
No,
can
I
we?
can't.
So do go back and reread the scenario real quick if you're not sure of the answer. We've been kind of lazy in that. So
Yeah,
we're saving them from having to listen to us read a scenario that isn't relevant.
Right.
Yeah, and I will say, like, I mean, I'm even shooting through these. I would take much longer on the actual exam reading
Yes.
through all of this at least twice. So this is me trying to conserve time when we're doing this.
Exactly.
All right, Ryan.
All right. That's a lot of words. So I'm going to start with the bold question first and work back. So which strategy offers zero downtime with load balancing and is the most expensive option? Now, this is going to tell you about a business and it had some percentage of failure and all these things. And that's all important. But really, this question is very clear. So the above is really just trying to confuse you a little bit. Zero downtime, load balanced, costs the most money. That is going to be a dual data center. That is having a secondary data center. The next most going down in cost would be the external hot site because it's ready to go. But you'll notice they use the word dual external hot site. So here they're actually saying it's a secondary hot site. Remote hot site and cloud-based hot site, which, by the way, those two are the same thing. So I'm going to go with dual data center.
I agree. All right, Ron.
Let's do this. This sequence is used to detect errors in transmission of messages. So looking for the integrity of messages. It also provides authentication of the source and is often used with symmetric key cryptography. We're talking about a check summary, message authentication code, message hash, or message digest, or MP3 checksum. Well, we know it's definitely not anything to do with music, but I'm going to go back and look at the question real quick. Boss is asking about crypto, checksums, hashing. Hey, wait, that might be an answer right there. He seems to think they're the same, but not the case. Since your boss wants to take and pass the CISSP exam, first thing you do is recommend studying with FRSecure. Anyway, so he's asking you about crypto questions, hasn't taken time to read the chapter. Face palm. So this is the message hash, looks for the integrity, sometimes known as message digest. And, that's why like MD for the different types of message digest. You may also see like SHA, secure hashing algorithms, etc. So I'm going with C, message hash or message digest.
Like you said, it asking about simple hash functions and how they're employed, it kind of gives you some hints in that question.
Yes.
All right. While conducting your investigation, you're interviewing witnesses. Interviewing witness. You are strongly advised to conduct them under supervision of who? All right. Well, that one I might want to read the scenario just to see. All right. CSP and IT security administrator. Boss calls you in his office. Laptop has been seized, secured in a government-approved safe. Up until this point, the evidence has been secured. Your task was obtaining, securing, and providing legally admissible evidence derived from this laptop. All right, choose the best answer.
Run away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do not pass go.
I would say of these, well, witnesses, no. Law enforcement, you typically, once you involve law enforcement, you're not doing the investigating or interviewing. Legal counsel, senior manager. I'm gonna go legal counsel.
And
I like
first
this.
Yeah, go ahead, Ryan.
Well, I was just gonna say, it didn't specify the type of evidence, right? You may be in a color of law situation here. There will be times that law enforcement does actually ask you to be their remote hands for any number of reasons. And in that case, you want to do that under the supervision of law enforcement, because if you're collecting it for criminal purposes and you're acting under color of law, you need that protection. Secondarily to that, always, it's just good advice, always have legal counsel involved.
Yes. And they will help you with the law enforcement part. I was actually working in an assessment and they realized they were breached. And they asked me, can I also help them with the breach? And I'm like, no. And like, so what do I do? I'm like, contact legal. Yeah. Have someone on retainer. So lawyers can be your best friends sometimes. I'm sorry if you are a lawyer.
Sometimes. All right. Oh, goodness. All right, Brian.
All right. There are guidelines recommended to protect PII, personally identifiable information. Choose the answer which best describes the 3 requirements of PII protection. The information collected should be, so it looks like we've got maybe a scenario that's breaking it up here. Large growing number of employees, corporate executives concerned about theft of assets, physical and software. They want to develop a plan to guard these assets, considering some guiding principles, studies for CISSP. They want recommendations on Monday. That's a couple of days away. We're okay. So what are these recommendations? So 3 requirements of PII. So is it limited, relevant, or specific in purpose? Is it collected, developed, and then destroyed to avoid unauthorized disclosure? Available for all company employees to review. I'm not even going to read the rest of that one. Given to news reporters, media. Once again, I'm not going to read the rest of that one. So the first 2 are.
I think D's the right answer.
Definitely.
I don't know. So limited, relevant, and specific in purpose, or collected, developed, and then destroyed. I like the destroyed part on there, but I think it needs to be limited, relevant, and specific in purpose for PII.
And there may be laws against destroying.
Mm-hmm.
That is correct.
And keyword here should, it also could depend on the jurisdiction, given the difference between EU, GDPR, California, and different state privacy laws, etc. So, but generally, these are how you protect privacy.
All right, Ryan.
All right. As your company grows and gains more market share, lucky you, data becomes more valuable and you decide you must be more tightly controlled. As an IT manager for a successful and growing company, you are responsible for security corporate data. So you are developing policies to control the data at all locations that it resides. All right, that's great. So what would you call an electronic device used to sanitize data from used or retired disk drives? Such a device generates a magnetic field. Right, it's degausser. But do you notice they phrased it a little bit different?
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys had this, but I did encounter during my exam a very, very similar question, but it was worded different. Therefore, it was treated as a separate question. But the answer was ultimately the same.
And be careful too, because sometimes questions will seem very similar, but they tweak it just a tiny bit and try to fool you.
One other thing that I remember is you'll get a scenario and then you get a series of questions on the same scenario. All right.
I think I'm up.
This is you.
All right. At which layer of the OSI, Open System Interconnect model, do network interface cards, or NICs, and drivers convert bits into electrical signals and control aspects of data transmission, including optical, electrical, and mechanical requirements? So let's see. Please do not throw sausage pizza away. Physical, data, network, transport, session, presentation, application, human. So, and we're talking about the OSI where NIC cards rely. That would be, well, NIC is a physical layer, and it's what converts bits into electrical signals. So I would have to say layer 1. I don't know, what do my fellow panelists think?
Oh, I agree.
Yeah.
Concur, Doctor.
Yeah, I think so. All right. Which answer best describes the technology that performs a function or requests a service on behalf of another system and connects network segments that use the same protocol? All right, building out a new network, reviewing core technologies. Managers don't
You have my vote.
experience. I'm just reading it out to.
Sorry.
I just got that. Your boss is asking you cornerstone technologies, and all right. VPN, no. PLS, no. SSL, no. It's proxy performing a function on behalf of another system. All right. Hey, we did much better on that one. 80%. We passed.
Which one did we?
Let's see what we missed.
Oh,
What?
interesting.
No action. A zombie. Let's see, maybe it's in there.
I see the first thing that popped in my head when I was reading it was like a beacon of some sort. Is what I was thinking.
I was thinking bots. If they said
bots,
I would have said that, but bots are essentially zombies. What? I don't. That. Boo.
Oh.
Oh.
Ooh, it is Mac. Okay.
Huh? I agreed with you. We all did. Well, again.
And then I'm curious if there was enough, if you go back up to the question, maybe there was something in the question that we missed. Simple hash function, how they're employed in the enterprise. And it's a sequence is used. So that would be more Mac. It's the sequence, not the So, okay.
I think hopefully what that shows people is we've all been doing this a long time, and we still don't know all of it. You're not going to know everything. You just need to know enough to show that you've got mastery of the information.
Well, and plus, I was trying to submarine my boss because I want their job. So
There you go.
by giving them the wrong answer.
It's crazy because I was thinking about this the other day of how many jobs within FRSecure as an organization could benefit from a CISSP, and how we have so many employees covering different pieces that are all the CISSP covers and we talk about within it, but there's no way that someone could do all of those jobs or even like 2 or 3 of them because they're all so specialized. And that's just how wide this is with these items.
Yeah.
But you never know in your career when you're going to need to switch specializations based on need at the organization. So why we study across all of the domains, because particularly as a CISO, vCISO, and I know we have experts on that who teach it, you really could be in different scenarios based on the client you're working with, depending on the meeting.
Oh my
You
gosh.
can go from one topic to the next.
But let's be honest, that's what I love about it. It's always a challenge, and it's always new, and it keeps you on your feet.
There's been many times in meetings where I've said, hey guys, I think we need to bring in someone else on this that's going to be able to speak to you better about the subject than I can with you, because there's just so much out there. Do you have something, Ryan?
Well, I was just going to say that, one of the things I enjoy about being a vCISO is the opportunity to learn about other industries. So to be a good security practitioner, you actually do need to know a little bit about the business you're trying to secure. You don't necessarily have to be the expert. It turns out you really do need to understand a little bit about what they do. And so for me, it's exciting because I get to, when I first came to FR, Lori Blair was my kind of vetting, if you will. So very honored to have one of the authors of the Rainbow series actually be the one to kind of sign off on me. And I got to go learn about high pressure radiators that are used by NASA. I didn't know that was I guess I always knew it was a thing, but I didn't know. So anyways, I say that to say you never know what next cool thing you're going to get exposed to, because security is for everyone. It is everywhere. And soon all businesses will have to have some type of CISO relationship, whether it's virtual, fractional, or full-time. And if you can align your love for security with the love for the industry that you're doing it in, that's even cooler.
Yeah.
Well said.
Well done. All right. You guys ready for some sequence drag and drops? This will be interesting to see how it works. All right, we'll start with you, Brian, since I finished up. And you got to tell me what to move where.
Yep.
Oh, only 3 questions.
3 questions. Oh, of course. All right. So OSI, in the proper order. Use your mouse, starting with layer 1 at the bottom, going up to layer 7. So all people seem to need data processing, right? So I guess starting at the bottom is going to be physical.
Hard not to want to just like do it. Wait for you.
Yeah, well, I'm going to get it wrong. I'm not going to lie, because there's been so many times where I've needed to know this for tests, and I memorize it, and then for whatever reason, this is one of those things that I can never keep proper. So I guess let's go from the top down, because that's going to be better for. So presentation or application is going to be top. Presentation is going to be second. Session is going to be next. Transport, and then network, and then data link.
Ding, ding, ding.
So all people seem to need data processing. Cool. That's the one that sticks in my brain.
And you never know, on an interview, they may ask you from top to bottom or bottom up. So
I was going to say, this one looks familiar. I'm going to go ahead and
And Brian in chat already yelled at us for not reading directions. So
yeah. So which of the following Wi-Fi standards would offer the most security, least secure at the top? So Open AP Web, WPA Personal, WPA Enterprise, WPA2 Personal, WPA2 Enterprise. Okay.
Oh, we already had this. Layer 7 to layer 1. So
but it doesn't. It says layer 7. I'm guessing layer 7 at the top in this one.
Yeah.
Again, so same thing, just different question.
Yeah.
I I had to do it halfway one way and halfway the other way just to mess with people because I know that's going to cause all kinds of feedback.
Well, those in chat now really get the OSI layer. Woohoo!
It's important.
But we still use it. Yeah.
Hey, 100%.
Hey, we did it.
All right. I can do one more set of questions, then I need to mow my grass.
All right.
Unless I can borrow Brad's mower. But it would be a really long drive.
It would probably be, no, none of those. All right. That would be a long drive.
I'll send you a drone mower, Ron. We're working on a drone mower.
Perfect.
Drone mower.
It'd be fun.
Matching drop down. Let's do that 10 of those real quick. Okay, we got one. Okay.
We've got one. Okay. Oh, we
already did this.
Boo.
Cancel.
All right, let's just do all again. We'll just do 10 questions real quick. Run through those very fast. We'll go ahead.
And once again, for those who are here with us live, if you have questions, let us know in chat. Well, now's your chance to have us live and in person. Of course, we will also be on Discord, but things tend to quiet down after we're done. So we'll probably hang around Discord for a couple of weeks. And then if you really want us, make sure you know how to tag us. You can find each of us on LinkedIn. We're all available if you know Ascent. So just cyber stalk us and not really, but you know what I mean.
I don't know about you guys, but my LinkedIn is completely and utterly swamped. So if I don't if I haven't accepted or replied to a message, it's not personal. I've been really busy.
And Ron, you were mistaken. There is one of us that does not have LinkedIn. You guys can try and find me on there, but you won't.
Give me a minute. I'll create one for you.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Just let me know. I got his cell number. It's fine. Home address, social security. Got you covered.
Cool.
Perfect.
Just ultimately hit me up in Discord because that's where I'll see things the most there.
Perfect.
All right, Ryan, why don't you start with this one since?
All right. So before I do want to point one thing out. There's an interesting debate happening in our world regarding using a cell phone as a MFA, being that if you're logging in from the cell phone with a password, most likely stored on that cell phone's password manager, and then you also use MFA, are you truly multi-factor? So something to ponder. There's always new stuff to debate in this industry. So which of the following is a true of two-factor authentication? Well, definitely bad English here. It's saying which of the following is true of two-factor. So it uses RSA public key signature based or integers with large prime factors. It does not use single sign-on technology. It relies on two separate authentication factors. It requires two measurements of hand geometry. Ooh, I like that one. So here, given everything, I'm going to go with relies on two separate authentication factors. The reason is RSA is one of several types of encryption. So we don't want to narrow in on that. We could, in theory, have a different type of encryption. What we know is true for sure about two-factor is that it requires two separate types of authentication factors. Yep. Do you concur, doctors?
Indeed.
Agreed.
All right, Ron.
So I was looking at YouTube again going, why isn't this moving forward? The ISO IEC 27001-2013 is a standard for certification of public key, information security management system or ISMS, implementation certification of basic security measures or evaluation criteria for the validation of cryptographic algorithms. It is ISMS. It's just, you should know ISO 27001 and 2, know the major ones, because they're used worldwide.
And the reminder, 2001 is the rules, 2002 is the details.
Yes, lots of details. And you have to pay for them. So if someone says do an assessment and like, did you pay for it? And they're like, no, can't you just find it for free? It's like,
Yeah, those are licensed. All right, physical security mitigates all of these risks except physical damage. Well, it's physical. Theft of physical assets, physical. I'm gonna skip that one. Tailgating, that's when somebody walks in behind someone else using the first person's authentication. So physical. Sin floods, that's technical.
Could they have misspelled sign? You know, like the Seine River. Sorry, the Seine River in Paris.
Well,
If it
good
floods.
physical security on the network port, as in not anything plugged into it, also prevents SID floods.
There you go. Overthinking. Sorry.
Yes. All right, go ahead, Brian.
Squirrels.
Right. When RAID runs as part of the operating system on the file server, it is an example of A, server implementation, network implementation, software implementation, or hardware implementation. Wow. I would like more information, please. So server, network, software. I'd I'd go with hardware on this one because you're running off multiple drives. Different pieces of hardware would be my go-to.
The
But
only thing that gives me pause is it says as part of the
Part of the
operating
operating system.
system.
On the file server, yes.
see,
I'm thinking
Brad,
it's software implementation.
Brad double checking me. Yeah, thank you, Brad. I agree.
Oh,
Well, because
We'll
it doesn't
find out.
specify it's hardware or virtual, right? Because you could
Yeah.
have virtual RAID array, that'd be a software implementation.
all right, Ryan.
Which of the following is not a valid reason to use an external penetration service firm rather than corporate resources? Lots of answers. They use highly talented ex-hackers. Well, I don't want to work with an ex-hacker. I need them to be current in their skills. They offer a lack of corporate bias. Ooh, I feel like that might be the winner here. They ensure a more complete reporting. Not going to go there. And they're more cost effective. Also not going to go there. You actually want you want a not valid reason. Okay, not valid reason. They ensure. I mean, technically, all three of those are not valid. Let's go with ensure more complete reporting.
I'm thinking it's A.
The ex-hacker one.
Yeah, because
I'm thinking it's D, cost effective.
Yeah, I was going to say
I
cost
see that
effective as
too.
well.
Okay. Well, and so everybody here, you see how we're working through this, right? We know the right answer. The right answer is outside third party gives us
B is
visibility into
absolutely a
biases.
valid reason.
Absolutely, right? I think it's a crapshoot because all three of those are valid, not valid answers.
Man,
Brian, you're the decider. Pull the trigger.
Oh no, it's Brad. He's the one in control.
All right, Brad.
Pick one.
I'm gonna go with
I
the
have no
original. You said complete reporting.
Yeah,
All right,
just because I can hear
that'll
a
be
leader
interesting to
trying
see
to
you
sell
the
that.
justification. All right, Ron.
Which of the following are additional access control objectives? Convenience and utility, usefulness and utility, consistency and utility, or reliability and utility. So access control. So I don't think it's usefulness. It could be convenience. Because if access control is not convenient, it will be bypassed. However, I also like consistency. So we know it's utility in something. This is where it'd be great to have a little more information. So this would be more of a memorization. So is it convenience, consistency, or reliability? So it's an access, it's an objective. What are we looking to achieve? I would say making sure it's always reliable.
I was
What
leaning
do
towards
my
consistency. You want to have consistent access controls. You want to always make sure that only the
but
people
is
that
it
can get
reliable?
there.
Is it consistent?
Yeah. Oof. That's a tough one. All right. You said I'll go with yours. You said
And
reliable.
chat is a little all over the place, but leaning towards D. So
All right. Oh, my turn. Which of the following statements pertaining to disaster recovery is incorrect? When returning to the primary site, the most critical application should be brought back first. That makes sense. Disaster recovery plan should include how the company will return from the alternate site to the primary site. Yeah. The recovery team's primary task is to get predefined critical business functions at the alternate backup processing site. Okay. The salvage team's task is to ensure that the primary site returns to normal processing conditions. Oh,
it's incorrect.
recovery teams. I'm gonna go with, oh man,
I'm gonna go with salvage.
Incorrect.
I'm gonna
say salvage is incorrect.
Because I was thinking the same thing, because a salvage team is not, you're not getting things back up and running, right? You're pulling out what's
You're
needed.
recovering.
Yeah.
That's, but I don't know. It's
I almost want to overthink myself and go critical applications would be by first because you're going to need supporting stuff, but those would then become the most critical. You know, you have to have Active Directory to do anything else, so that's got to come up first, and then you. So yeah, I'm gonna go with salvage team. All right, Brian.
Which of the following is not a service provided by AAA servers, radius, TechX, or diameter? Authorization, accounting, administration, or authentication. So service provided by those. So it's going to give you authentication. It's going to give you authorization. Accounting and administration. Ooh. Can I phone in a friend on this one? I'm honestly, I'd probably go administration. Oh no, you can administer.
It's not considered part of the, so the A could be either accounting or auditing.
Gotcha. So
Yeah,
administration then.
I would have thought it would be, well, I guess accounting. That way that's worded is throws you because it's like accountability. Well, okay, accounting. All right, Ryan, you get a.
What is dumpster diving, Ryan? Are you doing any
How
now?
I get dinner. How I get dinner.
Got it.
All right.
How to get dinner in an airport.
Yeah, dumpster diving. Hands down, still one of the most effective methods of gaining sensitive information on an organization. It truly is. So it's going through the dustbin. That, you know, it literally is what it says. It's physically getting inside of a garbage can, be it by hand or whole body, and pulling out documents. Many organizations today still throw away computer equipment just directly into the outside garbage without sanitizing it. There's all sorts of lovely paperwork in a readable format that can be found. So that's what it's going to be. Performing forensics is what you do after you stole it, and then
I don't know. I think you might want to read that third.
Yeah, the third
well,
one.
okay. So I'm going to say the third one is the answer the test is looking for. However, the first one technically is the same as the third one, but the third one has more words, so it's probably the right answer.
I think the fact that it's the actual description because it says you're using it,
and it didn't say the dustbin was full. So, and real quick on moving old equipment, you know, make sure whoever you're giving it to, they give you a certificate that the hard drive has been, and they should show you the processes. Numerous places where I live, I've actually gone through tours, and you can take a tour of how they destroy.
Incredible. You should absolutely take a tour if you can.
Okay, secret about me, I watch the videos on YouTube where they put all the random stuff in the big chipper shredder. It's like an ASMR thing. It's so soothing. It's like all kinds of stuff goes into that.
Dustbin is an old bin where you put dust. Someone asked in chat. So
it's British for garbage can.
Rubbish. Yes.
All right.
I think I'm up. Warning banners, backup power, closed circuit television, login warning banners, logical isolated networks and log files all fall under which control type? These are, they're not, well, anything can be a compensating control, but not directly. Directive controls? No. Physical controls? Login warning banners isn't really physical controls.
And it's logically isolated networks too, which is not physical.
Right. So they all have to be technical controls.
All right. Let's see how we did. 80%. Nailed it.
Again.
All right. Let's see. All right. We were.
We disagree with this. I'd like to
know.
Are they seriously? Is this really a freaking answer? Like, okay.
Yeah,
I totally agree with this because I got it right. All right, disaster recovery. I said I kind of was thinking that one, but I don't know. Different than the steps. Oh, least critical should be brought back. Everything has to be running smoothly. Okay.
That makes sense.
I had the logic.
But how do you determine what's most critical?
You
So
need a business impact analysis.
Yep.
Woo! Those are
Whoever has the
fun.
most power and says, I want my computer brought up first.
There you go.
So,
Well, Ron, I know you have to run.
Yes.
Thank you so much for helping us out again this year.
Been my pleasure. Thank you all. Thank you to Brian for making fun each week. We're doing it, and Brad and Ryan, you guys are awesome. Thank you. I'm pointing to you all in chat for keeping it interesting, keeping it interactive. That's what really keeps this alive. So keep doing it in Discord. Keep up the chats and connect. And until we meet again.
Thank you, Ron. All right. We'll just run through 15 questions. Do you guys want to keep doing test mode, or do you want to go back to study mode? What do you think?
I'm open to either.
I kind of like study mode because I find out right then and there if I got it wrong or not.
Instant feedback loop.
Yep. I gotta have it right now, man. Instant gratification. I will say for those out there that are going through these, the study mode is really good. I did use it a ton to create flashcards when I was going through it. Go through and it's like, hey, I keep getting this question wrong, or questions related to this wrong. So like, what am I missing here? And those answers, they actually give you a lot of information that are good study material.
Maybe we'll look at that. So with Ron leaving, it changed my video. So now Brian, you're on top. So you get to go first.
All right. Which of the following is not a logical control when implementing logical access security? So we've got access profiles, employee ID badges, user IDs, or passwords. Employee ID badges are physical items. They are not logical. So I would go with employee ID badges.
All right. I'm going to go next. Maybe I should make Ryan go now. Look at the places below. Which one would be the most suitable protocol or tool for securing email? Well, PGP is pretty good encryption, or pretty good. Was it stand for?
Pretty good protection.
Protections, but it's encryption used for email. And SMIME, secure MIME. Okay, those are both for securing email. SSH, no, that's not for email. IPsec and IKE, not for email. SSL, yeah. TLS, wow, that's actually interesting. So
my question is it the transmission of email or the email itself?
Right?
Yeah, I'm going to say, because they specifically say securing email, I'm going to go with the answer that has two solutions specific to email. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Well done. And good call out, Brian. Because transmission would have been a different answer, right?
Yeah.
Which of the following is not a physical security control? Lighting, user training, fences, secure facility construction. Well, user training is not a physical security control unless, of course, you train your users with rubber hoses.
You may want to. Please don't.
Yeah, please don't. Be nice to them.
All right.
What is defined as the manner in which the network devices are organized to facilitate communications? LAN topologies, LAN transmission protocols, LAN media access methods, or LAN transmission methods? So I'm going to read this one again because I'm not sure yet. What is defined as the manner in which network devices are organized to facilitate communications? So this is the organization of those. My go-to would be LAN topologies because that's how you organize those. The other ones are,
I agree,
not the same, different concepts.
Good job.
Excellent. Thank you.
All right. Password management falls into what access control category? Compensating, technical, detective, or preventative? It's technical. No? Okay, let's see why.
What? Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
okay. Preventative controls implemented to prevent. Okay, all right, I'll give them that. All right.
Which category of law is also referenced as tort law? Oh, funny. I just read about this today. Civil law, administrative law, public law, or criminal law? I don't know what public law is. Criminal law is not tort. I'm going to say civil law, although civil is an administrative function, but I'm going to go with civil law because I feel strong about that.
Yep. I agree. All right. Brian.
which answer best describes a device acting as a gateway between users and the internet, which is a server referred to as intermediary because it goes between end users and the internet? A web proxy, network address translator, wall of fire, or a web firewall?
Wall of fire.
Yeah. Acting as a gateway between users and the internet. I would go. I don't know. It's weird to say web firewall. That's not the term I
Do
would
they
probably
mean
use for
WAF?
this.
Are they trying to say WAF the wrong way?
I don't know. They didn't
could
say
be.
it, so you can't assume it.
Yeah.
Right.
So I've got to go that's going to be in my brain that's the best answer here.
Is which one?
Web firewall.
Oh, so to
Oh,
me, I'm gonna
these
say
different.
it's a gateway, users in the internet, which is a server.
So you think
Intermediary
you're
is
going to go with proxy?
proxy to me, but we'll go with yours. Oh, let's see. It is proxy.
Good
We'll
call.
leave it. We didn't cheat. All right. Among the following, which is best described? Oh, great. So it could be multiple correct answers here. Data is encrypted and encapsulated into another packet for transmission across an untrusted medium. Okay. Permits networks to be geographically separate but appear as though they are on the same local network. Layer 2 transport protocol? No. Point-to-point protocol? Okay. Maybe VPN, virtual private, VPN, virtual public. Well, I know it's not virtual public.
Depends whose VPN it is. Dun.
Wow. So both of those do that.
Data's encrypted.
Point to point.
An untrusted. Here's your keyword: untrusted medium.
I'm going to say because of I'm leaning point to point, but it'd be VP. Man, well, all right. Where are you leaning? Because I'll be honest, I could talk myself into either of those because I'm trying to think. Point to point tunnel. It's actually technically it's point to point tunneling protocol. So that's
It's a tunneling protocol, right?
Yeah.
So I almost wonder if it's LP2. Because if it's a VPN, it's a tunnel. If it's P2P, it's a tunnel. And that would be, in my world, that's a trusted medium then, right? I've established a trusted tunnel.
well, but
or maybe I'm just overthinking it.
I'm thinking, yeah, gosh, darn it. Because I was thinking
Sorry.
both of these, no, because both of these allow for the encryption encapsulation of the packet or the data across the internet. I'm thinking untrusted medium being the internet or something like that.
I could get behind that thinking.
I'm just gonna go ahead and say this. All right, we got it wrong.
So
It
was the
it was
VPN.
VPN. All right.
See, we talked about it too much.
Really?
Like we talked ourselves out. Like
I know. I was like, I wanted to lean towards VPN. All right. Anyway. All right, Ryan.
All right. Let's see here. Hold on. I lost my Zoom window. There it is. All right. Which of the following protocol data unit, or PDU, of transport layer in the TCP/IP model? So protocol data unit, transport layer, TCP/IP model, segment frame packet data, protocol data unit, PDU. I'm gonna go with packet,
Yeah.
although I'm probably wrong.
I'm glad you got this one. This is memorization. Unless you are really in the network weeds.
Frame, maybe. I mean, because the frame's a collection of packets, no? What does it say?
Segment. Oh,
Segment. Okay.
This is a great graphic to
Screenshot this, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, there we go. Yep. Yeah, please do. Hold on. I'm going to do it too.
Also, if you can scroll down to Brad after a moment here.
Yeah, I'm gonna give them a few seconds here.
Yeah, to get that other one.
Got it.
Because and I also want to use this as we talked about this in one of the study sessions that I did is I quite literally have a notebook with these exact pieces, and what I would do is I would try and build them by memory and write them all out, and then I'd go back, I'd see what I missed in it, and then I'd turn the page and I'd do it again. So that way I could, by memory, I could make these charts. And at least when I took the exam, you got a whiteboard and a dry erase pen that you could write with. So you could quite literally build out this chart and write it down when you're taking the exam at that point in time.
That's a great tip. That's exactly what I did is I wrote out the OSI and then did the TCP/IP right next to it so that I could not have to think about how that is.
Yeah.
All right. Brian, your turn.
Cool. The risk management principle is used as a means to pass the risk on to another entity outside of your company. I've already got something in my brain. I want to see if this is one of the answers. Risk superlative, risk mitigation, risk transmission, risk transfer. Risk transfer is going to be my go-to on this because that is transferring your risk to somebody else, say cybersecurity insurance.
All right. Which of the following best describes a model for centralized computing where remote terminals connect to a central large computer? Main directory computing, active central directory, active frame computing, no. Mainframe computer, mainframe. All right, Brian, or Ryan, man.
All right, what do we got here? We've got which answer best explains specifically what a firewall does to provide basic network security. Okay, so building out a new network, we're reviewing the core technologies with high-level executives and high-level managers. They don't have time or experience to deal with the details. Oh God, please get comfortable with that. So you got to keep them informed about your work and how it's going to impact the business. Your boss is asking you about cornerstone technologies on the network, backbone, yada, yada, yada. So how do we explain what a firewall does to provide basic network security? Monitors an activity and sends alerts. Blocks viruses from the internet. Keeps users from going to unauthorized websites. Enforce administrative policy. So I'm going to go with enforce administrative policy. And the reason I go with that is that it did not ask me to explain technically how the firewall is working or not working. And so the rules that traffic must be monitored would be an administrative function. So this is one of those ones where they threw some tech words at you, but really what they're driving at is what type of administrative function, or in this case, to enforce the administrative policy through a technical control.
Yeah. And something very, very important to remember during the exam is that they're not looking at a firewall as a IDS, IPS with all the other stuff in place. Memorize what a switch is, what a router is, what a firewall is, according to ISC squared. All right, Brian.
Which acronym is a lifecycle enterprise architecture used for designing, planning, implementing, and governing an enterprise technology architecture from the bottom up? Did we just had this one?
You better get this one.
It's totally COVID. Yeah, it's TOGAF.
Man, you got an easy one there. All right. Which answer indicates the purpose for security governance? Provide punishment for policy infractions. Unfortunately, that does happen a lot, which it shouldn't. Implement risk management, ensure compliance with legal laws and regulations, provide visibility and control of the security program. Governance is implementing risk management. Oh, interesting. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I can see that.
Wait. It says to provide visibility?
I know.
What?
That's what I don't.
I challenge us.
Oh.
I challenge us. I've been doing this a long time, man. I'm gonna say
Managers and business leaders. I can.
okay.
I can
It's
see
a
that.
stretch. I'll
I
go
don't,
there, but it's a stretch.
I don't like that, but I can understand the reasoning behind it.
Well, maybe this is a good point to remind everybody, think like a manager. It's really what they're looking for. So if you get into a thing where it's a managerial question, even though it seems technical, default to the managerial answer. Most likely that will be the right one.
Also, just to go along with think like a manager, a lot of these functions, while technical focused, most of it is not an IT function. Although most businesses will handle a lot of this as an IT function, which unfortunately isn't quite right, but that's just the way it is in the real world. Unfortunately.
All right, Ryan, bring us home.
So after you've conducted a risk assessment, you must assign the risk to an individual or group to manage. What is it called? Is it risk ownership, risk evaluation and ranking, risk treatment, or risk assignment? I'm going to say you must assign the risk. So the answer is going to be right there in the question of risk assignment in that case.
Ooh, I don't agree. They're going to say ownership. I don't like that.
So wait, so after you've conducted, can we,
oops, sorry.
So after you've conducted risk assessment, you must assign the risk to individual. What is it called?
So that's poorly worded because what is this called? Well, this is, I see where they're going to say ownership because then that person owns the risk.
Yeah.
But the fact that they're saying you must assign it.
Yep.
What this is way vague. You would not see a question this vague on the exam. I would be stunned. This is a poorly worded.
I thought this was one of those. It was one of those gimmies where it's just like, hey, here it is.
I read it and I was like, oh wait, I think they're gonna say ownership, but I don't like that at all. All right, 60. So I think what you're seeing here is we've been doing this for an hour and 45 minutes after working a full day, and we're starting to. I don't know about you guys, but my brain is pretty well fried at this point. So again, this is where it's really important to understand how many questions you're doing, how many have you done. You know, we've done well over 100, would be my guess. Let's see. Can we do, we did a combination test. So, you know, remember, yeah, you can see we kind of dropped off here as we got tired. And so take your time, study, make sure you do exams and do 100 questions. Do 150 in one sitting. Use the timer. We didn't use the timer on this, but they have a timer so you can track and know, okay, at the X minute mark, I need to take a break. I need to step away, take 5 minutes, reset, go out, you know, the test, though, how do you check out? You can go out, go to the bathroom, go out, maybe go outside, just get a breath of fresh air, come back in and do it. Use that and know that, you know, even some of the stuff is second nature at this point. We've done it so long and we're still going, oh, what are we, huh?
Yeah, and I'll add to that for myself, and I don't know if the computer adaptive test lends itself to this or not, but you used to be able to, if you didn't know a question, you could move on. And so one of the things I did is I
do that anymore.
You know, at about, oh man, that sucks because that was my walk away to the bathroom. to clear my head for a second and then come back,
Pretty sure.
5 minutes away, well, good luck, guys.
Yeah, I'm
But we're
pretty
here for
sure,
you.
if I remember that correctly, you cannot skip questions anymore.
I can confirm
Okay.
that is the case.
All right. Well,
so
that's
yeah,
okay.
take the test. Remember, discount code for CSecure.education is FRSecure. I don't know what the percentage off is. I think it's 10%. I really like it. There's other ones out there. But like I said, I used it almost exclusively when I took it, and so that's why I really like it. I don't think I can handle another quiz, guys. I don't know about you guys. I'm pretty well shot. So
I'm good. I don't know.
So closing thoughts for me, for everybody. If you made it this far, if you're still here, you're still listening, you're still trying, you're gonna do just fine. Don't get in your own way as much as you can. And if you don't pass the first time, it's okay. I actually know quite a few incredibly talented security professionals who have tried to get this certification. And hell, they're better at it than I am. And they didn't pass their first time. And a lot of times the reason for that has nothing to do with their competency or knowledge and everything to do with, were they in the best shape that day? Did they get the sleep they needed? Did they have, personal life things going on that were distracting in nature? So, I like Brian's idea of set that goal. It's something I did myself. I picked a date. I went to a boot camp. I did a whole thing, day away at the hotel so that I didn't have family distraction. But if you don't pass it, don't worry. Again, if you made it to here, pat yourself on the back. It's a hell of an accomplishment to get this far. And I personally just want to thank FRSecure. I want to thank Brad and Brian and Ron and Chris and Evan and everyone, all the unsung heroes behind the scenes and you students. On a personal note, being able to show up here even infrequently still nurtures me as a security professional. So I thank you guys for that opportunity. Gentlemen, anything you want to leave the folks with before we shut her down?
Thanks for joining us, ladies and gents. If you guys need us, we'll be here in Discord. There's LinkedIn's as well. Keep the conversation going. If you want someone to talk to, let me know and hit me up in Discord. We'll see what we can do and help you out. Just remember, just keep going. It's hard. It is very hard. And set yourself a goal.
Yeah, I agree. Set a deadline. That was my biggest thing, is I kept pushing it off, thinking I wasn't ready. Set a date. Give yourself that target goal and study. And if you're scoring 80% on CSecure Pro with 100 or 125 questions, feel pretty good about yourself. Just make sure you slow down, read the questions, and make sure you don't accidentally click the wrong answer. All right. Well, with that, we will wrap it up for the year. Thank you, everybody who joined, and please, if you need endorsement or you just want, we'd love to hear if you pass and we're part of it. That would be fantastic. That's kind of why we do this, is knowing we've helped someone. All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, ladies and gents. Have a good one.